You know, I just gotta say it. Version 3.1 special livestream for the second anniversary of ZZZ was probably the best Hoyo livestream I've seen to date. And it's not to throw any shade to Genshin Impact, Honkai Impact 3rd, or Honkai Star Rail. It's just how I feel. I feel like this one really showed that ZZZ really wants to reward the player base. And there's a lot of things to cover in regards to not only the second anniversary, but also just the patch in general. So today we're going to be looking back at what was announced during the 3.1 special live stream. So if you like the content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button down below and hit that notification bell to be notified of when the next Zenless Zone Zero video comes to your feed. And of course, don't forget to check out my ever wonderful sponsor, Gamer Subs, gluten-free, keto-friendly energy, great for the soul. And if you buy this, like if you buy any of this, right, it helps get me closer to my goal. I can't tell you what my goal is, but just continue buying all this wonderful Gamer Sub stuff. I wouldn't shill it if I didn't believe it, right? But let's go ahead and dive into what is coming in version 3.1. So starting off, we already know that we have brand new characters, right? We have Remielle, who is going to be available throughout the whole version of 3.1, not just phase 1, but apparently the whole version of it. So you have plenty of time to get her, and I think with how she's going to be, it makes a lot of sense to do this. Remielle is going to be the first Lumaflux character, and I'm pretty sure that these characters with the Lumaflux attribute are going to be very, very rare. And the reason I say that is because with her ability, from my understanding of it, she's going to boost damage of a specific typing every time she's with a certain team going into a certain battle. I believe also there's like enhancements in regards to the anomaly buildup as well. I need to look deeper into her kit, getting closer to 3.1. But for now, I'm going to tell you this. She's absolutely busted. And she's going to be off field as well in certain aspects. So I definitely think that you should really invest in pulling this character. Followed by Arya, who is an anomaly ether character. And she's a lot of fun. I do like actually using her out of all three of the Angels of Delusions personally. I actually enjoy her combat style. It kind of reminds me of Roshia from Weathering Waves a little bit. But she is a lot of fun, and I think that people would enjoy her. Do I think that she's the best anomaly DPS out there? No. But I do think she's fun. So if you're into the fun factor more so than anything else, pull Iron Mouse Light. You know what I mean? And then, of course, in phase 2, first off, we get our Uma crossover with Sigrid. Now, obviously, she's not from Usume, but I like making the joke because she is a horse tyrant, right? She's going to be an attack ice unit, which kind of puts her into a very distinct category, and it's going to be tough to kind of see if she can overcome battling against the other ice DPS characters like Ellen Joe, Hugo, Yabi, and so on. But I will say that she has a very similar playstyle to Alice, who is an anomaly physical unit. So I do think that there's potential to be really, really good, especially with how much damage that she could potentially put out. But it just depends on what team you're going to be using her on. And then, of course, we're also getting a triple signal search where you could pick one of these three wonderful units of Dialin, Yuzua, or Harumasa. Or did I say it right? Yeah, Harumasa. I knew I said it right. I always feel like I mess up on his name. But these signal searches, you could choose from one of the three, and you could decide on which one you want. My suggestion is going for Dialin. Dialin is absolutely insane as a stun, and if you already have Yishun Guang, that is her best partner, followed by Yuzuha being that buffer for anomaly units. So definitely worth trying. No offense to Harumasa, but yeah, I would say out of those three, he's probably the worst, unfortunately. But yeah, I would definitely say if anything, go for Sigrid out of all these. But well, actually, no, I would probably say out of all four of these, go for Dialin because Dialin actually has proven potential, proven use. No offense to Sigrid, but I don't pay attention to the beta test because I feel like the beta test, for one, I'm not supposed to talk about them, and two, I feel like beta tests are very controlled when I think that it's a better to actually talk about what the unit could do after they release. That's just my opinion. But we got to see a lot of Remiel, and oh my god, I'm telling you guys, I'm thirsty for her. Like, Jesus. By the way, Kissy Kissy Passion from Gamersubs right here. That's the same type of passion I want to give Remiel. Gem and Eat Christmas, she is fine, dude. She is thick. Same with Sigrid. Ah, they really showed off her assets, if you know what I mean. But they did also announce character buffs to one of my favorite characters, and as you could probably guess from right over there, Jane Doe is getting a buff. Same with Nekomata and Rena. To be honest with you, I'm very surprised that Rena wasn't a part of the first character enhancements, and the only reason why I say that is because out of all the standard banner characters, as much as she is loved and adored, she is probably kit-wise one of the worst ones. At least from what I saw. And then Nekomata being an attack unit, I would think that they'd buff attack units. To be honest with you, I think that if you look at your DPSs, which one you're going to choose, a lot of people would rather just choose an anomaly DPS over an attack DPS. Normally. Not saying that everybody does, but just saying that normally people would choose an anomaly DPS. That being said, Jane Doe getting enhancements is already amazing for me. I've got almost I think I actually have 3,000 saved up so I could get her ready to go pretty soon. So I got to save up a little bit more and be on an attack for that. We do have a brand new bang move called Ariel, which is going to be a fun one. What it's going to do is it's going to actually bring enemies in, kind of like Nicole's skills, and kind of drag them together while doing damage, which actually kind of works out for your teams and synergy in regards to DPS. So very excited for that. We got to see the different W engines, Ode of Resurrected Wings, which is going to be Remielle's, and then Sigrid's will be Knights in Extolment, which is pretty cool. We do have these brand new disk drive sets coming out. We got the first one, which is definitely going to be for Remielle. Feathered Fate, which is 2-piece, anomaly proficiency plus 30. Then on the 4-piece, when the equipper enters the battlefield or is switched to as an active character, they gain a buff for 15 seconds. Anomaly proficiency is increased by 50, and if the equipper's attribute is Lumiflux, their attribute anomaly damage increases by 15%. We also have the Thorned Rose, which looks like it could be a very good set for potentially Caesar. I don't know if this is going to be for Sigrid because I don't know if Sigrid scales off of defense, but we have defense plus 16%, and then the 4-piece, the equipper's damage is increased by 15%, and when the equipper's initial defense is greater than or equal to 1,000 or 1,800, their crit rate is increased by 8% or 16%, which is amazing for someone like Caesar, in my personal opinion. There is that. We got to see a lot of main story stuff. I like to skip the main story part solely because of the fact that I don't want to be spoiled. I'm that type of a person, so I know that some people might get upset with me with that, but I'm the type of person that I want to experience it. I don't need them to tell me what's going to happen in the story if I do it myself, right? So there's that. We got Enigma of the Labyrinth, Operation Bagel, which is a brand new event. It's kind of like the Bang Boo event that we had, where you would explore the Bang Boo um, Fall Guys area and get like certain things to equip to your team. It's kind of like that, but instead we actually get the agents, which I think is a wonderful change. I think that's actually very good in general to have as an event, especially since we had a similar event in NTE with the 1,000 minus one nights. So it's really cool to see that they're actually doing something like this as well. I feel like a lot of gacha games are afraid to take that step into doing something unique and different, like, you know, again, Genshin and HSR. So I'm very happy with CZZ taking that approach, right? Summer Waves Rollin', which is going to be a metal detector event, which is, again, it's the obscure event of this season. I feel like ZZZ always does one of these. It looks, you know, it looks like it's just free stuff, basically, if you just do this. So to me, it's kind of whatever. But it does have a similar system to the fishing system in regards to how you collect the fish and where they're documented into. So there is that. We do have the Snap Focus Showdown, which is another picture event that we've had before. But they're adding more filters to it. And I think that that actually makes it a lot cooler. Am I going to be using those filters? Probably not. But I am going to enjoy seeing what's posted on Twitter personally. Dangerous Fugitives Leisurely Vacation, another picture event it looks like, but you got to find Remielle. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of Remielle stuff. I wonder why. But yeah, so we got Ding Dong Delivery Training in progress. I didn't quite understand this one, to be honest with you. It just looks like you're going to be checking in and delivering stuff. Kind of like how you just log in, you get one, and then you do some stuff and you get another. Kind of like the event that we have right now with the bottle caps. Deadly Assault update, adversity mode, and new items in store. They're going to be putting some new items, as you can see here. So there is that. There's all that good stuff. Phaethon's grand reveal of the year, which is, from what it looks like, I believe this is the anniversary thing where they're going to like just kind of go over what happened in the previous year. I could be wrong on that, but that's kind of how it came off, right? And then we're getting triple bounty stuff, you know, extensive patrol and combat training, which is always a plus. The fact that it's triple makes it a lot easier. And then we're getting to the big stuff. So let's talk about all this, man, because there's a lot. First things first, the anniversary rewards are absolutely insane. We're getting 30 pulls in total, and this is the first set right here that we get right out the gate. 1,600 polychromes, an anniversary avatar, and an anniversary title, which is obviously cool. Then, of course, we get our regular 10. So this is just in general what we get with every single like update. So I'm technically not counting it, but also counting it because, you know, it's just part of the thing. But yeah, we're getting those 10. And then they're adding another 10 on top of the Bupon login ones. So instead of just getting the Bupons, we're also getting 10 free summons. So very cool to see that we're getting 30 free summons in total in this next update, 20 extra comparatively. So, but not only that, and this shocked me. We usually talk about getting a S rank or 5-star selector, right? And normally it's standard banner characters. ZZZ stepped it up and said you could pick from one of these 5 limited characters that we're offering you, which is Jane Doe, Anby Silver Shoulder, Hugo, Trigger, and Lucia. Now, that already to me is insane for the fact that these are limited characters. And it's cool that they're doing that. I think that more games should do that. Give us the option to get some old limited characters, right? And not only that, but we're also going to be getting their W engine and correspondence as well. So to me, I think that you should go for someone like Lucia overall. Lucia is a very, very good support character to have on your teams. I'm going to go for Jane Doe because I want more Jane Doe. So I'm very excited for that, especially with her enhancements. I haven't seen what those enhancements specifically are, but I am very excited to see what's to come. And then, of course, we're also getting 2 extra Pyrois focuses, and Twilight After Image is an extra W engine. And what does that mean? Well, by this update, you should be able to have your Pyrois fully ranked up. So it is ready to go. Very cool to see. And then we're also getting an extra amount of the polychromes and stuff like that. But there is one thing that we didn't get to really touch up on in this first thing is, as you could see in one of the events, you're going to be able to get Lucy's summer outfit, which is pretty neat. I think that this is actually a very cute one. It works for her and it makes a lot of sense. So there's that. So as we continue onwards, there's also paid stuff as well. And what do I mean by paid? Well, when you spend money, you get extra incentives in ZZZ, at least for this round, right? And a lot of people would say that they're upset about that. And I want to express how I feel about this, because I feel that being upset about it doesn't make any sense, right? So, I mean, it's not that it doesn't make any sense. Let me rephrase that. It's not that it doesn't make any sense. It's more so that you're mad for the wrong reasons. I get that you would be mad because they're offering it, but it's an offer, right? You don't have to take it. My thing about it is this, right? It's a business and they're going to try their best to make as much money as possible. That makes sense, right? From a business standpoint, why not roll a deal? If you have a bunch of shirts that are not being bought, you're going to put it for a sale, right? And then you can even throw in an extra thing to entice people to buy those shirts, right? It happens with all sorts of consumerism, right? I'm not saying it's right, but I am saying that it makes sense. So to me, like, with them resetting also the actual polychrome purchases, it makes sense that you would feel the need to spend because that's what they want you to do. So I just think it's like people who get mad about it, it's like it's a gotcha game. What did you think was gonna happen? You know, you get into the gotcha space, you kind of see stuff like this happen a lot. But I will say the incentives are not that bad, especially since You could either get Vivian, Astriel, or Seed. Astriel being obviously the #1 choice because Astriel is an insane support character, still at the top of her game, brother. So definitely going for that for purchase stuff. Not only that, but you could also get a free phone thingy from right here. Well, not free, but if you buy enough, you get the phone thing for Remielle, and that one I'm actually very excited to grab. There's also this little keychain thing that you can get as well, Boba. But yeah, there's definitely some stuff that I think that a lot of people get upset about that shouldn't be that upset. We're also getting a crispy meal deployment plan event, which looks like the KFC event from Japan. So very cool to see Colonel Sanders in the game, you know? So but we also got announcements for the shorts that are going to be coming out from Remielle. I will do my best to react to those before she comes out. Same with Sigrid. And then we got also these wallpapers for when we get them fully done. And my God, Remielle and Sigrid both looking fine, brother. I'm just saying. This right here blew my mind. So not only are they giving us a free 5-star limiter, but it looks like from now on when you search, I think it's on standard and limited banners, you could choose the 6 characters that you would want to lose your 50-50 on. Meaning that they're going to start putting limited characters into the actual banners as a 50-50 loss. So if you're looking for more Yanagis, more Caesars, or more Zhu Yuans, it looks like they're going to be the first 3 introduced into this system. And I think that that's really freaking crazy to see. And it's also for the W engines as well. So I would say definitely something to really consider when you're going through these. I think that's a W. Because again, a lot of people are not going to be going back to these characters. So it makes a lot of sense to do something like this to entice people to summon. It's a no-brainer to me, right? They're upgrading the beginner guide to give more rewards for new beginners. Top-up bonuses are being reset. Beach vacation style sidebar theme and pendant, as we've seen with the other stuff. They're doing more of this for Lucy as well. And then obviously we have this as well, which is really cute and adorable. But yeah, we saw the brand new guides already, kind of looking at that. Increase the progression speed of Intronaut level. So they're actually going to increase your Intronaut level leveling up faster. Many more optimizations, which is pretty freaking crazy. They kind of went off this time around. But another thing too, which I didn't notice this before, Pyrois is actually going to let the main MCs, Wise and Bell, keep the attachments that they have on them. So if you get this Fox mask that's actually a part of the brand new update, then you could actually show it off. And I think that's really cool as well. It's a nice little touch that doesn't change a lot, but it's still really good. And then previous A rank W engines will actually be included in this shop, which is for like the enhancements focus for characters. So now you could actually get the previous W engines from events and boos or Bang Boo from those previous events that you can't get anymore in those events, which I think is it's a W. It's an absolute W. They added mass locking and unlocking. I think that I'm not going to really care about this personally because for me, I actually look through all my stuff and kind of just gauge everything. For me, I feel like if I mass unlock something, I'm going to mess up and get rid of the one that I actually want to keep. So I would rather just do one by one. I could mass unlock and then lock the one as well. So I don't know. I just feel like this one, I'm like, it's all right. And then we also have auto selection logic for W Engine's recommended interface for the character that you're using. So it's going to basically recommend a W Engine for your character. So pretty cool. And then, of course, we got all the swimsuits. We got the free Lucy swimsuit right here. We got Sigrid swimsuit, which doesn't show a lot right there, but there's a lot down there, you know. And then Remielle's just, oh my God. They went out of their way to make Remielle just so freaking adorable. There it is. Here's a good picture. Boom. Look at that. Beautiful Sigrid, beautiful Remielle, and adorable Lucy, right? Then we got some new cosmetics, the little halo and the fox mask that we talked about, and another costume that will be coming called the Moonlight Whispers for Remielle. Really, Remielle's getting a lot of treatment here, and so much so that they're going to run a sale on both. And that's what's very, very exciting. Uh, Again, 3.1 looks absolutely amazing for remielle. And of course, not only that, but as you can see here, we have the announcement that ZZZ will be collabing with HSR, which I think is actually the best game that they could collab with. As much as I have a love for Genshin Impact, right? I played that since the beginning. I stopped playing recently, but I think that HSR makes the most sense, especially with how the Astral Express is. It wouldn't make a lot of sense for Genshin Impact because that would be a whole freaking culture shock for the most part, outside of maybe like Natlan's technology and Fontaine's technology. But that being said, I am very excited for this, and I want to know in your thoughts who you think is going to be crossed over. I know that there's people who are leaking and saying specific characters are going. I'm not going off of that. I'll believe it when I see it. I'm that type of a person. So if you're new to this channel, don't be posting links or not links, but leaks in the comments. I don't want to look at leaks. I want to look at, people think is coming, right? Like that's how I view it. But I am very excited for this. I think that this is a wonderful, wonderful lab to have. And really, outside of that, that's really all there was for 3.1. I'm very excited for a lot of the stuff that's coming in this update. I think that ZZZ, and I saw this in my comment section on the last reaction video I did for 3.1, and I said it. I said I believe that ZZZ, when it comes to the animations, the story, and the actual characters and character development, I think that ZZZ is the best Hoyoverse game. Now, people will disagree, and that's perfectly fine. But I think a lot of people just put ZZZ into just, oh, it's a Gunner game. And a great example of a Gunner game that defies all those expectations is Nikke. And Nikke is, more Gunner than ZZZ, in my opinion. But I digress. I think that ZZZ does amazing work, and the dev team over there is doing fantastic. I'm not just talking about Hoyoverse. I'm talking about the ones individually work on just ZZ. So big shout out to them for making an amazing game. I will stay on that hill. I will stand on that hill. ZZZ is the best of the Hoyoverse games. But let me know in the comments down below what you think. Are you excited for ZZZ 3.1, or are you more excited for other Hoyoverse games? And let me know what you think about remielle and Sigrid, or who's coming in the ZZZ X HSR crossover. But that's going to be it. Love you guys to death. And as always, we will catch you in that next video. Please take care. Be safe.